know that we've been through some things, but declare it now. Say, oh. Doesn't matter what I used to be. Say this. They might have said that it was cancer. It doesn't matter. Oh. Guess who the victory belongs to? Victory belongs. Victory belongs to Jesus. Victory belongs to Him. Victory belongs to Him.
Hello, good afternoon. You're watching Kamna TV, not just another channel. This is the election update. My name is Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. I'm your host this afternoon, and I'm joined by Michael Chota. We were here yesterday just to give you updates on what was happening at different polling stations, because we had our reporters at different polling stations giving us updates on how the turnout was and how the atmosphere was at different polling stations. We're back today again. Everybody is anxious. We're all curious, wanting to know what is happening, how the counting is going, and also what the ECZ has to say. But before we get into it, let me introduce my co-host for today, who is Michael Chota. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Did you vote? Let me see.
I managed to
vote. Okay. So if you voted, let us know where you were voting from, and also how your experience was. If you're a first-time voter, how did you feel? How do you feel? And what are your expectations? Remember, we are still not campaigning for anybody. In as much as we have already voted, we wait for the election body, which is the Electoral Commission of Zambia, to give us the final results. Make sure that in as much as you're excited going around on Facebook, giving, sharing, and also giving those numbers, the countings and stuff like that, know that there's only one institution that is actually qualified to tell us the results, and that's the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Like yesterday, we have our reporters on the grounds at different stations, different briefings from different political parties. Remember, we had the United Party for National Development, who had their press briefing, and also the ruling Patriotic Front, who had their briefing. Not forgetting, different political parties are actually out there just trying to say how the experience was and how the expectations will be after yesterday, the 12th August 2021, when we had the general elections.
It's been a long day, Precious. How are you feeling?
I am tired. I took a nap before we actually started.
Can you imagine?
I couldn't feel my legs yesterday when I got home.
Yeah.
I was like, we are adulting.
Definitely.
We're definitely adulting. Yeah.
Definitely. But so far, so good. There was an impressive turnout, as we saw on the ground. We'll be able to update people more on what's happening on the ground.
Yes, of course. So now, getting back to what we were dealing with yesterday, in case you didn't get a chance to actually go and cast your vote, it's actually unfortunate that you did that. We were all given an opportunity to get your voter's card, find your NRC, replace your NRC, get your voter's card, verify your information, and finally yesterday we were actually given an opportunity to vote. Now, we had 16 presidential candidates in election. We are still waiting to see who will carry the day. Now, remember that the decision was made, and we wait for the Electoral Commission of Zambia to actually give us the final results. The counting has begun in different polling stations. We've gotten results from different polling stations, and we can see others have carried the day already, and we know what party is actually gotten the seat for some positions, like the parliamentary position, and also we are waiting to see who is going to go around and carry the day when it comes to mayoral and also the council positions. And also the final results we will be waiting for to see who will carry the day after the August 12th, 2021 general elections, who is going to be the president of the Republic of Zambia. So we are yet to find out if you maintained or if you are deciding to change. The decision was made yesterday, and we're not going back to change that. But job well done. The atmosphere was amazing, despite having issues in some provinces and also constituencies. It was sad that some people weren't actually given an opportunity to vote because their information wasn't accurate and they couldn't find their names at certain polling stations where they thought they had registered from. We are yet to hear from the Electoral Commission of Zambia how that became an issue and also how that was sorted out. Because if you remember yesterday when we're giving you updates from different polling stations, we had to interact with one of our reporters, which is Patrick Soko, who was in Kamwala polling station, that's Kabwato constituency, and we had seen more than 5 people that were complaining that they were unable to vote because their information was in another province. Very, very, very stressful and frustrating.
It was, Precious, it was. As we saw at those polling stations, especially in Kabwata constituency, there were troubles with certain voters in terms of their details, and some were registered in other provinces. But overall, I think the voting process went pretty well across the country.
Yes, I was just somehow disappointed. I was going through social media and I saw someone who actually voted for a certain political party and wrote something in the box of another political party with some writings on the side.
Some writings?
A wasted vote.
That's a wasted vote.
Invalid.
I don't get that. When
I
clearly,
don't understand why you wasted a vote.
Clearly, voter education clearly stipulated that you indicate with an X in
and
the
that's
box.
it.
Yeah,
that's all you were supposed to do.
That's all you had to do.
You voted. We leave the rest to God to decide who is gonna be who and who is taking what seat. And we mentioned yesterday when we came to say, when you are going to vote, there's certain things that you're not supposed to do because you will be chased out at that polling station. One of them is you wearing a political regalia.
Yes.
Okay, you were not supposed to do that. For the ladies, some of you were going with painted nails. Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
You were going drunk. Why would you do that? You only had a few hours to actually remain sober for you to go and cast your vote and continue with the rest of the day.
Indeed, indeed.
But my experience when I went to vote, I was voting from Twin Palm Secondary School, which is just in the area, this side. The turnout was amazing. There was the time I was in the queue, which was like 30 minutes. There was no drama. Everybody was just minding their own business. I got to interact with a first-time voter. They were quite excited. And before she went in, she actually asked me, like, it's just an X, right? I'm like, yes, just X, and you're out. When she came out, she was like, I'm excited. I can't wait for 2026. You see, so these are some of the things that come with the benefit of being a patriot.
Definitely, definitely. At the polling station that I was at, I actually saw there was a lot of peace. Commend the police force as well. They maintain law and order. They maintain law and order at the polling stations where I was voting from, even though I took about 5 hours.
That 5 hours I voted, went home, took a nap, changed, came for work, took another nap, read the news.
There were many others who took hours in the line, but it was a very peaceful process.
I would say from the area I was impressed that it was calm. We had issues in Solwezi. We had issues in Chingola. Right now, like we mentioned, we have our reporters, different stations, different places. So we're crossing over to the other side and we will continue with the conversation. We will be back. Good afternoon.
We are currently at the Radisson Blue Hotel where CCMG, that is the Christian Churches Monitoring Group, is actually having a press briefing. For those of you that may not be aware, CCMG consists of the Council of Churches in Zambia, CCZ, and the Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia, the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, and the Zambia Episcopal Conference, ZEC, through Caritas Zambia. Well, just like you are, I am equally anticipating what they will be talking about. So for further updates concerning the general election, the 2021 general election, which was held in the last 24 hours. The Electoral Commission of Zambia had alluded to the fact that the last polling station was actually closed today at 05 hours, and the next briefing is scheduled for 15 hours today. So for further updates, please stay tuned to Camnet TV, not just another channel, where we'll be on the ground and updating the nation on what is currently happening. Back to the studio.
Well, there you have it. So that's Liseli Kanyanga Mwanga at the Mlungoshi International Conference Center, where we're waiting for a press briefing from the election body, which is the Electoral Commission of Zambia, are waiting to hear the results from different polling stations and different provinces. We have some provinces that don't have a lot of polling stations, and so the counting was easy and straightforward, quite impressive, I would say. I'm waiting to hear what the Copper Belt had to say when they were casting their votes, and also Lusaka Central and these other polling stations. Dundumwezi. I'm waiting to hear from Dundumwezi. Dundumwezi actually made a lot of noise in the previous general election, so I just want to see. I'm just excited. If you're not excited, then I don't know. I don't know why you're not excited. You should be excited, especially if you voted.
Yes, it's a very exciting time right now. As we wait for more updates, I'm sure there was a huge turnout across the country.
Yes.
So many polling stations. Some, they waited for less time, others for longer. But all in all, I think most people got a chance to vote, which is important.
And also one thing that we all need to stay away from is the social media Commission of Zambia.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Results from there are fake. If you know how to use Excel, then you're able to actually do 1 and 2, write down 1 and 2 figures and stuff like that. The only results that you should actually be paying attention to is the ones that are coming from the Election Commission of Zambia, and they will be giving us an update in just a few hours. So we are all waiting. If you can't watch them, just stick around. We'll make sure that we update you once they start the announcement of the results. I know we are curious, I know we are anxious, our anxiety is getting the best of us, but all I can say, we all need to remain calm. We did our part if you voted, and we leave the rest to God to decide. So we remain a peaceful nation, for as our late Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, the founding father of this nation, gave us the one Zambia, one nation. That's all we need to stick with at this point. We are known to be a very peaceful country, hence we have different people from different countries actually coming through, and also the observers from different countries that came through to observe the elections. We should maintain the peace that we are known for, and wishing all the presidential candidates and all those that stood from the parliamentary level, mayoral and also councillor, all the best as the results are being announced.
Definitely, Precious. And I think just to add on, we're seeing a very amicable atmosphere from even the leaders themselves for the different political parties, who have also told their followers to maintain peace, to maintain law and order at this particular time of elections, which is very important, I think, to see.
Yes, of course. And on the other side, I would love to hear from you. If you voted yesterday, how was your experience? Remember that you can catch us on Facebook as well, or you can call us live in the studio. That's 0968 675 273, 0968 675 273, or get to our Facebook platform, which is Camnet TV. If you haven't liked the page, I don't know what you're waiting for. Just go to the comment section. Tell us how your experience was, where you were voting from, and how you felt. I would love, I'm targeting the first-time voters. How was your experience? How did you feel? How was it? How did you just feel making use of your voters card? I will start with you.
Definitely.
I will start with you. I remember yesterday when we were talking, you mentioned to say, I have never voted before, and this is my first time.
Yes.
How was your experience?
As a first-time voter, I can clearly say it was very exciting. You really felt it's a very patriotic thing to do for your country. You participate in the voting experience. It was very powerful, very powerful.
You feel entitled?
I feel good. I went to sleep last night very fresh. Very fresh. This is good.
Fresh is the word.
Yes.
Fresh is the word.
Yes.
Anyway, it's good that you felt like welcome to the grown-up stable.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So we would also love to hear from you. How was your experience? If you voted, where were you voting from? When you went there, what is it that you saw? What was your observation? For some weird reason, I was actually scared.
You were scared?
Yeah, when I was next, and then I went because there were like 2 stations you would go to before you went in the ballot box and stuff like that. So when I went there, the first thing I did is went to check on the list if my name was on the list at the polling station. Then after I confirmed, I went in, sat on the first table, produced my NRC and my voter's card. Then I was told to give them my thumb, and I was there. I was actually sweating, and I'm like, this is really happening.
It's really happening.
I am actually voting. Went on to the other table where I was given the ballot papers, the 4 ballot papers, and I'm like, I feel like an adult right now.
It's a very responsible thing.
Yes, you feel like an adult. You know, this is what we were saying. I remember one of the presidential candidates yesterday when running the clips, I've forgotten who it was. He mentioned to say, no, it was actually Thomas Sipalo.
Okay.
Yes, he mentioned to say, when you vote, you even feel entitled to comment on certain things. So in the next 5 years, if you're not going to vote today, which was yesterday, you will feel like you don't feel entitled to comment on anything if anything goes wrong. So when you vote, there's just this entitlement, you know, when things go wrong, when the economy is bad, when prices are raised and stuff like that, or maybe when just something is not adding up, you just feel entitled because you voted. You participated. You know, you participated. So yeah, I hope you're feeling though. I voted. I voted. I feel excited. I feel excited.
Again, even with the whole election process, when we were entering the booth as well.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with the way everyone was stationed, the fingerprint. It was calm. Although, like you know, if you stand in the line for a long time, people get tired. Frustrated. You want to sit down, but once you get in there,
I carried water.
And food.
No, not
food this day.
I knew I was not gonna last there, so I didn't even bother to pack something. But I ate before I actually went there. From the time we left this place, I actually went home, freshened up, changed, and then went outside. So I still had some energy in me. I just carried water.
Oh, and also to make mention, to commend the people from the Red Cross who were at the certain police station.
Yes, just in case of emergency, injury, and stuff like that.
That was very encouraging to see on the ground.
People do pass out.
Yes.
And I did something. I was excited that I did it. There was this elderly man that was standing in the queue, and immediately I saw him. I was like, "Sir, you are a senior citizen. You're not supposed to." Oh, I didn't know. My daughter. So what should I do? And then I actually ushered him to the entrance of the polling station. Wow. And then a few minutes later, he was out and he said, "Thank you." And I was like, "You're welcome." I was excited that I did that.
Well done.
If you did it, then you understand why I'm feeling like this.
#1 citizen, well done.
Yes, and I also noticed pregnant women that were coming through.
Yes.
They didn't actually stand in the queues, and also women with babies, breastfeeding mothers, they were not actually allowed to stand in the. It was just flowing.
Everyone knew what to do. That was very good to see.
They all knew their responsibilities.
Yes, the police,
which was amazing.
Everyone, yeah.
But there were no snacks.
Too bad, there were no snacks. Next time.
I mentioned yesterday to say, you know what? If they were like, just, you know where you go, you check for your name. When you're done, you get inside, give them your NRC and your voter's card.
Yes.
Then when you get your ballot papers, you get in the ballot box. When you vote, and then you go, and there were actually 4 stations. Yeah, the first station was when you produce your NRC and your voter's card. They check your information. They will scream out your name and your voter's number, and then there are some people that will actually tick out from the register. Then after that, you get to the next section where you get your presidential ballot paper, and that's where the woman actually, or the man, the officer there, marks your thumb, which is the right hand. And after that, there's the next desk where you got the parliamentary ballot paper, councillor, and mayoral, and then after that, that's when we head to the ballot box where you vote from. The pens were available. I made sure to go with mine.
Yes,
I was
make
excited.
mention. The pens were
I went
there.
with 2.
Someone's scared.
The pens.
Someone's scared. The pens,
were there, very much available.
Yes.
We had 3 ballot boxes where I was voting from, and then there was the final table where you find the 4 boxes. The presidential was the orange
box.
The purple was
for mayoral.
Then the black
was for local government.
Then the red
was for national assembly.
Yes. So after that process, now there was supposed to be a table where there were snacks.
Ah, that would have made sense.
Yeah. Like when you're done,
like,
just
thank you.
Grab some snacks and some juice, and then you head out feeling like an adult and stuff like that. So if you voted and you would love to share your experience, how it was, how you are feeling right now. I know we are all anxious. People that don't watch TV are now watching TV. I remember a friend calling me saying, I don't watch TV, but just in case, since you have access to certain information, if there's a link where they're sharing the results, just copy and paste it in my DMs. So if you are somewhere where you feel you want to express yourself and also how you're feeling today, how your experience was yesterday, the situation at the polling station you were voting from, please come through on the number 0968675273. We're right here. We're giving you election updates because we got you, and also the number that you can catch us on is
0973-167-840.
Yes, and also get to our Facebook platform. So like we mentioned at the beginning of this show, we have our reporters on the ground again giving us updates on what's happening. We're just waiting to hear from the election body, which is the Electoral Commission of Zambia, where the papers are being taken. That's the Mulungushi International Conference Center. We're yet to hear. The counting has started at different polling stations. We're waiting to hear from provincial level. And who's going to carry the day? They mentioned to say they will try to announce the results in 72 hours. So hopefully by Sunday.
Hopefully by Sunday, yes.
Sunday evening or Monday morning, afternoon. We're hoping it doesn't get to Tuesday.
Yes.
Polling stations were opened yesterday as early as 06 hours, closed at 18 hours, though there were some people on the queues. I don't know how true that is. I heard that if you were in the queue while they closed the polling station, you were allowed to vote. So the officers were just standing behind the last person in the queue. Hope you were not one of those people that left immediately they closed the polling station. And also, we were dealing with 7,023,499 registered voters, 10 provinces, 116 districts, 156 constituencies, 1,858 wards, 12,152 polling stations. And also the presidential candidates that we're dealing with.
We had over 16 presidential candidates, and those included Mr. Andifed Banda for the PAC party, and we had Mr. Charles Chanda for the UPPZ party. We had Lazarus Chisela for the ZUSD party. We had Haivi Hamududu for the PNUP party. We also had Mr. Hakainde Chelema for the UPND party. We had Hari Kalaba for the DP party. Chisala Kateka for the NHP party. We had Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu for the PF party, as well as Fred Membe for the SP party, Nevas Mumba for MMD, Musonda Mwamba for the UNIP party, and we had Kasonde Mwenda for EFF, as well as Stephen Nyirenda for the NAREP party, Richard Silumbe for the LM party, and Sean E. Tembo for the PEP party, and finally Enoch Twanga for the third LM party. These were all the candidates for the presidential election.
Yes, so we had 16 presidential candidates this general election, which is quite a lot.
It's quite a lot.
That's 16. We had some political parties that formed alliances with other political parties, and we have the current ruling, which is the Patriotic Front, and the oppositions, to make mention of the UNIP, NAREP, Third, EFF, UPND, MMD, just to mention a few. So there were a lot that were there, but only 16 managed to actually get on the ballot. So you made the decision. We wait to hear who's going to carry the day. For now, we take a short break, and we will come back with the updates on the other side. Welcome back. You're watching Camnet TV, the election update with me, Precious Mzea Sakaleji, as your host, and Michael Chota on the other side. Like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we have our reporters on the ground at different stations, and we're waiting from the election body, which is the Electoral Commission of Zambia at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, where they will be giving us an update on what is going on. Very interesting news that has just kicked in from the PEP presidential candidate, which is Mr. Sean Tembo.
Yes, Mr.
Accepted defeat. I love such, like you've accepted defeat, like this is it. I have seen what's going on, and I'm going to step down and just see and hear from the Electoral Commission of Zambia as they announce the results. We have accepted defeat. Let's just have that on the screen for those that don't know what we are talking about. Now, PEP concedes defeat 13th August 2021. As Patriots for the Economic Progress PEP, we wish to announce to the nation that based on the results that have so far been announced from various polling stations across the country, we would like to concede defeat in the presidential race. It has become apparent to us that this was predominantly a 2-hour race between the Patriotic Front, which is the PF, and the United Party for National Development, UPND, and therefore even the other presidential candidates who had invested heavily in the race have performed dismally. As a party, we shall dusty ourselves up and recognize in the next 5 years so that we can perform better in 2026.
Interesting news.
Reorganize ourselves. The font is so tiny. I was trying to, but hope you've gotten what we are talking about. So they have accepted defeat.
Yes, the leader for PEP, Mr. Sean Tembo, has accepted defeat on behalf of his party, which is very interesting news. And he's mentioned that it looks like it's a two-horse race right now between the PF, the Patriotic Front, with the incumbent, and the UPND.
We have a caller. Hello. 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 Okay, 0968675273 is the number you're catching us on, or 0973167840, or get to our Facebook platform and comment. Now, getting to our Facebook messages, this one is coming from Simata Sage Silas, and he's saying, we are not leaving this one to God. Well, unfortunately, you have to. And then this one is coming from Justin Mfwele Bola Naipwa.
Bola Naipwa.
Dera de Shafi is saying, Justin from Chelenge. This one is coming from Caroline Spencer. He said, snacks your weight just like that. So no snacks, mama. But you like my weight? Okay, thanks. Henry Chivisha says, Ndao mfawino sana. Nali voter. Great. The feeling is mutual from all of us that voted. Justine Mfwele is saying, Laka Laka Imwe. Thank you so much. Chimunya S. Busiku is saying, Monza Town watching. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, very much. For those of you that voted, would love to hear from you. And yes, of course, if you would like to share your opinion and also how you're feeling at this particular time, the number is 0968675273. Or get to our Facebook platform or call us on 0973167840, and we would love to hear from you. We have another caller. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm very much fine.
Who are we talking to? Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from within Lusaka.
Yes, please. Your name, sir?
My name is Richard Msonda.
Please go ahead, Msonda, with your contribution.
I'm trying to find out, it's not a contribution, I'm trying to find out.
Yes, please.
Why is it the TV stations, none of any TV station, they are showing the proceedings, but if it is football, other proceedings, they do that. Why are we just watching the music, they watch, instead of waiting anxiously? We want to be seeing what is happening on the police station. On the police station, we always watch the proceedings for other things, but why is it difficult to be watching what is going on live?
Okay, is that all, Mr. Msonda?
That's what I'm trying to find out, because whatever the channel you change to, it's either you only find the songs are playing, what. We don't want to be watching songs. We know what those songs about. All what we want to know is what is going on there. That's my contribution I wanted to find out.
Thank you so much, Mr. Msonda. Okay, for those of you that have the same question as Mr. Msonda, wondering why majority of the TV stations, once you switch, all you're seeing is songs, adverts, and these other things playing, is because we are all waiting to hear from the Electoral Commission of Zambia what is going on. We know you want to see the proceedings, but we are waiting. Remember that there is protocol and procedure needs to be followed. Yes. We just can't go around different polling stations and air the proceedings. There's protocol that needs to be followed and procedures. Hence, everybody waiting to hear from the election body, which is the Electoral Commission of Zambia, currently at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, to just give us the results.
Yes, definitely. And just to add to that, Precious, because we don't want to spread any confusion amongst the people of the nation.
Yes.
We need to maintain that law and order and procedure. So as to wait on the ECZ results to guide us as to what happens next.
Okay, and then Gladys Lubesha from Solwezi is saying, Solwezi, we don't have power. Obet Mwingu is saying, watching from Chilanga. Gladys Lubesha says, what is happening here in Solwezi? Okay, it came twice. Frank Chipango says, I don't know what tribe this is. Sorry, I can't read. I don't know what tribe this is. Prince Daniels is saying, watching live from Ndola. Evans Mlenga saying, watching from Chipata. Amos Focus Chikumbo saying, I'm watching from Katandala village. And then Kasusu Shienga Kasusu is also watching. So remember, you can come through to our Facebook platform as well and comment. And yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't read that tongue. I don't want to embarrass myself.
It's okay. It's
I want to embarrass myself. Okay. So feel free to actually come through on Facebook as well. Comment. All callers 0968675273 or
0973167840 as well. You can reach us on that line.
So it is what it is. I don't know how I'm feeling right now.
There's a lot of anxiety.
I feel worse than I was feeling yesterday.
There's a lot of anxiety. I can tell from the caller who previously called, there's a lot of anxiety on the ground.
Yes.
People want to know. But we just urge you to remain calm at this time. The results will be out. Everyone will be notified as soon as ECZ gives us those updates. So remain calm. They're on the way.
It's not a deliberate, here's the thing, it's not a deliberate thing that TV stations or radio stations are not saying anything or giving you the proceedings. It's just that every media house are taught to follow certain rules and regulations, just like a house. Institutions also are given those, and there's some documents that you need to sign just so you don't mislead the masses. Hence, as we have been announcing and saying from the beginning of the show, we have one election body in this country, one institution that has the rights to announce, and that's the only institution that can give you accurate information, which is the Electoral Commission of Zambia. So we are waiting to hear what they have to say. We know you want to follow the proceedings, but we don't want you to be misled.
Definitely, we don't want you to be misled, yes.
So stay away from Social Media Association of Zambia, Social Media Commission of Zambia, because they don't...
It's unverified information. We want to avoid that situation where we distribute unverified information which has not been given by ECZ. So we need to follow the correct procedure in what we do. Yes. So please bear with us and remain calm.
I'm like so anxious. My anxiety has gotten the best of me.
It has from yesterday. But at least you voted. At least you can feel a bit more relaxed.
Not yet. I'm like 40% relaxed. There's 60% more that that's just there everywhere. Emotions, mixed emotions. We don't know what to expect. But let us just remain calm. If you need to stay indoors, just stay indoors. Don't go around making noise, claiming victory that has not yet been announced. Because I've seen quite on social media, people are announcing results that are not even correct. What's the word? Some applications are not working.
That we have heard reports of such, on the ground, but as we keep on saying, there's a lot happening right now on the ground. More updates will be coming in from Mulungushi Center. So please hang on for those results which will come out from the ECZ as they update you on the results in and around the country. And we as Chemnet TV, not just another channel, will continue to bring you all verified information directly from the source.
Okay, Edwin Miyoba, these are the Facebook comments. He's saying, watching from Kabangwe West. John Siandwa saying, I'm watching from Kaunda Square, that's Lusaka. Trevor HM Hamalundu says, we don't have power here in Jack Lusaka. Gift Edson Luwaya is saying, I'm watching from Kabompo District Council. Muchas Senior Colintin is watching. Mark Alfred Sinkala watching from Ndola, that's the Copper Belt. Daniel Mwansa is saying, hi sis, kindly give us an update of what has been announced so that we keep record. We are working on that. Limbikani Sakala is saying, watching from Wavels Bay, Namibia. Thank you so much. Brian Tale is saying, watching live from Durban. Thank you for coming through. Pathias Mwewa saying, Bushemule Kutika watching from Chingola. Kambo Gift saying, I'm watching from Lusaka and we are winning. Okay, thank you so much. The Authority says, I am seeing you from Copper Belt Mufulira. Thank you so much. Rodin Chifu is saying, I'm watching live from Livingston, the tourist capital. Thank you. Zilan Mohango says, watching from Chicago. Oh, okay. I get where these jokes are coming from, but okay. Gideon Mukinde saying, I'm watching from Sodrezi. Prosperity King Spirit. So what are we doing on social media? So what are you doing on social media? I don't understand this question. Moving on, Chester Himatiamba says, I'm watching from Banakaila Wengwa constituency, that's Southern Province. So remember that you can come through on social media as well. We'd love to hear your views on where you're catching us from. And also we want to know what your experience was like yesterday if you managed to cast your vote. We don't want to know who you voted for, as we keep on preaching your vote is a secret. So we would like to hear, if you were a first-time voter that managed to vote yesterday, how was your experience? What were your expectations? Were your expectations met? How was the atmosphere where you were voting from?
Definitely. Yeah. Please keep on contacting us on the various numbers. That's 096-867-5273, as well as 0973-167-840. We would love to hear from you how it's been going for you since you voted, how the experience was, and even today, how you are feeling. We know there's a lot of anxious people around the country today, Precious. Yes,
everybody is. Everybody is. If you're a Zambian, even when you're in the diaspora, we know you're anxious. We're all anxious, but we need to remain calm.
Everyone is affected all across, even in diaspora, other countries as well. It's all one nation, one Zambia, one nation at the end of the day. So we are all connected.
Down for we know foot and down for quite sick. Shishi off your down for Shishi venga down for Uktina. But if you're feeling down for, but Shishi will feel down for, but down for something, but Shishi will feel down for. Then you saw now up a weekend, but if you feel down for what tea. Quite few to I am checking our results, then but we have to, yes.
Easy.
Yes.
Easy.
I know my mom would be like, Mana and take on your man and take on your take on to my punch. Where's home to my
punch? Easy.
It's not easy, guys. I understand. Wherever you are, we can all relate. We are all anxious and we want to know what's going on, but that's not helping. The best that we can do is just wait.
And just wait, yeah. It'll be over soon. As the ECZ had guided before, it won't take longer than 72 hours as stipulated. So that should be at least by Sunday evening. We should have results in, verified results by the ECZ. So let's just hold on for that.
Angela Ciara Mwene is saying, watching from Kafue. Betsheba Shimisha saying, watching from Solwezi. John Bambala says, watching from Libala. Lufomo Mubita watching from Luansha. Keith Mungalu saying watching from Kamwala. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing surnames. Joseph Lumpa says watching from Kitwe, that's the Copper Belt. Wilston Jackson watching from the UK, East London. Thank you. Kamwanga Joseph says I'm watching from Botswana. God bless Mother Zambia. Thank you so much. Alicia saying I'm watching from UK, you guys. Yes. Let the comments keep coming through on social media. For now, we take another break and just wait to hear feedback from our reporters, and we see who will be crossing over to soon in just a few minutes. Welcome back. You're watching Cabinet TV election update right here live in the studios. Like we are always mentioning, we have our reporters different stations, and the CCMG is actually giving an update on how it was. We've got different observers from different countries. Not forgetting, we're waiting to hear from the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, who are currently at the Mulungushi International Conference Center. Papers have started coming in. The counting has begun at different polling stations. We're just waiting to hear, and they've announced that they might go live and give us a press briefing at 15 hours. Now, getting on to our former Sierra Leone president, who is Dr. Koroma Ernest Bai, who was one of the election observers that came through. And let's take a look at this clip, and we'll come to you on the other side. We will be joined by Patrick Soko, one of our journalists, just to tell us how the experience was and what the nation should expect.
So far, things have been going on very well. From the polling stations we have observed, the polling started averagely on time. Polling has been progressing. We observe an impressive turnout of people to vote. The queues are very long in all the stations we have visited. There seemed to be a peaceful conduct, and we also have observed the presence of political party agents. Not all of the political parties, most of the polling stations we have visited, we have on average 3 political parties constantly represented. And the enthusiasm that we see in people in the queues, and the peace and quiet that we have observed has given us hope that if this is translated all over the country, the Zambians will end up having an election that will be peaceful. We hope it continues. We hope it is the case all over the country. And we continue to observe. We still have equal number of hours ahead of us as we have started. So far so good, I can put it that way.
Welcome back. This is Camnet TV Election Update with me, Precious Mzea, Sakaleji, and Michael Chota on the other side. Now, crossing over to Sharon Kalimbala, who is at Radisson Blue, and the CCMG is just giving a pre-election, post and preliminary election briefing on how the observation was, and then after that we'll come to you with the conversation on the other side.
As I already alluded to earlier, that I'm currently at the Radisson Blue Hotel, where the CCMG actually were giving their preliminary findings concerning prior to the elections, how the ground was in terms of what was happening, and also leading to the actual general election that took place yesterday. That's the voting. And we were told that people should actually be patient and wait for the official results coming from ECZ. One of the other things that came out strongly from the CCMG is that they are aware of what exactly is on the ground and the results as they have done their tabulation, their PVT. So what we are just waiting for are the official results coming from ECZ. They actually told the ECZ that they have the information as a result from their PVT. So currently with me is Mr. Eugene Kavilika, who is also a member of Caritas Zambia and the CCMG as a body. I know there's a lot of anxiety coming from people as they wait. Maybe just your word of advice as people wait.
The advice, if I may recall and recount and also reiterate the call made by the CCMG chairperson, Father Emmanuel Chikoya, to be calm and to be patient and to wait for the ECZ to do their job. Because the ECZ is the body that we chose as Zambians to manage the elections on our behalf. And therefore, they have this legal mandate for them to be the only ones that announces the final results. So people should be patient. They should not begin to be too excited. They should just wait until the final day when those results are announced by ECZ. So this is a call for calm. This is a call for peace. There is no need for us to begin any form of violence at this moment.
One of the things that the chairperson mentioned was the fact that you have done your own PVT, and you, from the last 12 hours, you are aware what is actually on the ground. And maybe he had alluded to the fact that the Electoral Commission of Zambia should bear this in mind and should actually announce the correct results, because you also have your own results.
Yeah, but you know that people were voting quite late last evening. So even if we may have come across certain trends, we are not able to say anything at the moment. Yeah, because just to reemphasize the point that CCMG as a monitor, a domestic monitoring, is not mandated to do the announcement of any result, just like any other domestic monitor in India. So, but what we are saying is that whatever is coming out from the ground, that should be what the results from ECZ, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, should reflect. And I'm happy that I've been seeing on Diamond and also seeing on ZNBC that they've been announcing actually from the polling stations some results that they have and some of the, because that is good, because people are able to follow the trend, and they're able to you bring confidence to the system that way, and people then cannot be agitated too much. Too much silence agitates people to what is going on, and they start speculating and making falsehoods that there's something happening. But what they are doing now to announce results, bits and pieces from Diamond and also from ZNBC, that is good for the electoral process. It helps to calm down the Zambians. You know, the elections are very emotive issues. Yeah, so calming down the population is extremely important. And we hope that ZNBC, you, the media, and any other persons that are involved in the electoral process should be able to do just that.
Thank you so much for making time to be with us in your busy schedule on the live updates on Camnet TV.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Sure.
Well, as I already mentioned, that was Mr. Kavilika from Caritas Zambia, who was just giving us an update concerning what CCMG had to say. Joining me right now is Sharon Kalimbula. What do you make of the findings from CCMG?
I think, as they have mentioned, that there are preliminary findings, preliminary observations. They clearly stated that they have over 1,600 observers countrywide just to see how the election has been. And the update they've given today is about pre-election, election day, and post-election, which is the period that we're in now. So obviously people are agitated, they're eager to wait for the results, even as though the Electoral Commission of Zambia says you need to wait on us for us to give you the correct statistics, other than these PVTs that people are calling. Obviously, each and every political party is mandated to do their own accounting and stuff and compile their own statistics. But it's important that we listen to what the Commission is saying as the only mandated body to give out these statistics. However, some of the concerns that they've raised as CCMG with regards to observing the election this far and clearly stated that the election is not a one-day thing, it's a process, and therefore they've been observing obviously for the last 3 months up until today. So one of the things that came out was media coverage, was how the Electoral Commission of Zambia has been engaging with various stakeholders, and just how the poll day was, of which they've clearly stated that poll day was really good. There was a huge turnout, which is a plus on the electoral code, and it's a clear indication that people have really heed to this call, and they were really eager to exercise their right to vote. And some of the things really are true. Somehow we've observed issues to do with violence, of which they mentioned they recorded over 70 cases.
Which is quite an alarming number.
Exactly. And
considering the cause for peace.
Exactly.
But I think it was very much predictable. Because we didn't start these elections on a good note.
No.
We didn't start the campaigns on a good note. There were sporadic cases of violence that I think have escalated to the point that, from my memories, I think I can recall that we have lost 4 people.
Yes,
2 in Kanyama, and just 2 yesterday.
And that was just in the last 2 weeks, I think, before the election. So before that 2 weeks, there have been other cases that have been reported as well. So violence has been at the core, and specifically between the 2 major political parties, that the ruling Patriotic Front and the United Party for National Development. Now, this is despite calls of peace, like you mentioned, despite these peace accords being signed between these 2 political parties to ensure that the country holds free, fair, and violence-free elections. However, we are still waiting as a country upon official results. Counting is still underway for those of you that are still really wondering what's really happening. Counting is underway on almost all the polling stations. Yes, some of them closed really late. Liseli, I'm sure you were covering one of the polling centers.
Kablonga Boys actually closed, as I was there, around 19, and it was still open. So from my prediction, it was clear that it would take even longer, perhaps maybe even midnight. And you can imagine now the counting, looking at the magnitude that turned out for that particular polling station.
Exactly. Woodland, one of the centers, also Woodland Primary School, they were still voting up until 22, somewhere there. So this caused to show that people really turned out in large numbers to cast.
In fact, the Electoral Commission of Zambia actually alluded to the fact that the last polling station in the country closed at 05 hours today.
Wow.
So now we are waiting 72 hours from the 05 hours. So from that time, we are able to tell that official results of everything will actually be concluded perhaps even by Monday or Tuesday latest, if worst case scenario.
Exactly. But the briefing that was given in the morning by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, they indicated that they'll start giving the stats probably at 15 hours late this afternoon. We will continue to give you these updates as and when they come from various stakeholders. So CCMG is just one of those electoral stakeholders that have been observing these elections.
Back to the studio, I guess.
Indeed, back to the studio for me, Sharon, and Liseli here in Lusaka.
welcome back. That was Sharon Kalimbula and Liseli Kanyanga Mbanga at the churches observation monitoring groups, where they were just giving us an update. Christian churches monitoring groups, CCMG, where they were just giving us an observation, and we heard what they're waiting for. We are all waiting for the Electoral Commission of Zambia to actually just give us an update on what's happening. Joining me on set currently is one of our reporters who was on the ground during the voting at different polling stations, and we're just waiting to hear how it was and also what we should all expect after the August 12th polling day. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Precious.
Hi.
Okay.
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you.
You look tired.
Yeah, we are still waiting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How was it? How was it? Give us an update on what's going on.
Well, at the moment, a number of activities are ongoing. First of all, I would like to bring you up to speed with what has been happening across constituencies of Lusaka. We've been patrolling various constituencies to just assess the situation in as far as vote counting is concerned.
Yeah.
We were in Chawama constituency, where we, by broadcast time, we only managed to capture about 3 polling stations that had been counted. And just a general overview of those results that we had gotten by then was that the PF were leading in all categories. That is at councillor, mayoral, as well as parliamentary and presidential levels. The PF was ahead, and that is in Chawama constituency, to be specific. We were there. We also interacted with members of the general community regarding the need to uphold peace, and the people want peace to prevail, especially during this election period. And we have also seen our men and women in uniform, being the Zambia police as well as the defense forces. They are patrolling the area, and they have been helping out in terms of transporting ballot papers from various locations to the central position where the totaling is taking place. In the case of Chawama constituency, it is being done at the Chawama Basic School. So there was some resistance, of course, by some political officials when some officials from the ECZ went to get the results. They were being prevented. So, in fact, the defense forces had to intervene and make sure that they help out in transporting those materials. So, even as we were leaving Chawama, by then, results were being announced as they come in. And I think they have made a lot of progress. And as we speak, a number of constituencies are winding up. And it is the reason why the ECZ will commence the announcements of results by 15 hours. As you already know, we had a high turnout. So as a result, the ECZ was overwhelmed. And in most of the polling stations, voting could not close on time at 18 hours as stipulated. So what that means that whenever those on the queue, when it is 18 hours, they have to be allowed to vote. Yes, but no extra people would be allowed. The police officer would sit behind the last person to ensure that those who are on the queue vote.
Yesterday when you were in Kamwala, at Kamwala Secondary School polling station to be specific, there were actually more than 5 people that were complaining that they couldn't vote from that polling station because their names were not in the register at that particular polling station. Just an update, how did it turn out? What was the solution? Because we saw an Electoral Commission of Zambia officer just trying to calm the masses and just tell them on what was next. How did it go?
Well, that scenario was quite interesting because this is a situation where people claimed that they actually registered from Kamwala, which is under Kabata constituency. And they feel they had indicated a correct polling district. But in actual sense, that was not the case, yes, because whichever stream they would go to in terms of checking out for their names, they couldn't appear. Even if when they inserted their fingers on that electronic gadget, it could not reflect. So they had a challenge, and they were also being advised to say that polling station could only be should be in eastern part of Zambia, that is eastern province. So that was another challenge that those people encountered. But the officials told them to say, let's see how we resolve these issues and what. So even as the ECZ tries to make these briefings, I think these are issues that we'll be asking on how those people were assisted in as far as ensuring that they vote. So we'll find out those details as the briefings unfold. But I also want to bring you up to speed with some of the developments. We saw the UPND Alliance also at the media briefing today. And,
afternoons,
and you know, they are claiming victory. But guess what? Also the Greens, the PF, are claiming victory. But at the end of the day, we know that the deciders are the Electoral Commission of Zambia. No wonder for us, even us as media houses, the result we can only provide, those are provisional results that we are capturing at our polling stations, and we cannot speculate. We make sure that you get those results that are at the polling station that have been approved, those which have been said to be provisional. So at the end of the day, the ECZ has to declare who the winners are. So no one holds the right to do so apart from the ECZ. But we have also seen others conceding early defeat. And in this case, we have Patriots for Economic Progress President, Sean Tembo, conceding defeat, saying
it is what it is.
Yes, it is. But I think it was just being realistic, because if you see the figures that have been coming so far, most of the times they are getting 0. And if you look at the two top contenders, being the Patriotic Front and the United Party for National Development, you come to realize that they are getting huge votes. So it's like
votes are being split between the ruling and the main opposition.
Exactly, Precious. Yeah. So I think at the moment, as you already know, these political parties have also invested in the same parallel voter tabulation, and being in fact all the political parties, let me say so, but we can single out the PF and the UPND. So even when they are claiming their victory, they are basing on their PVTs. But at the end of the day, those PVTs are not valid. They're just an assessment. So only the ECZ do determine the final. Even our colleagues at the Radisson Blue, we are talking to the Christian Churches Monitoring Group, and that is Father Eugene Kabirika, Mr. Kabirika. Well, Mr. Kabirika they are equally doing a PVT as the Christian Churches Monitoring Group, and we have hosted them on this on this station at on one of our programs, The Verdict, and they were indicating that we will be monitoring the elections on the ground in all the constituencies. So even them, they have the numbers that they are comparing with the Electoral Commission of Zambia. So the PVT, what it does, that it helps you to compare, to say, okay, we recorded these numbers, and what about these numbers from the ECZ? So it's just a checks and balance mechanism that is being employed. But at the end of the day, the ECZ will provide the final verdict.
So now, before we let you go, anything else that you'd love to bring us speed to?
I would like to bring you up to speed of unfortunate incidents that happened during the voting process, and that is the incidents of political violence. We understand that our men in uniform, the defense force, have been deployed to ensure that they maintain law and order, but they are also patrolling, and we have also seen the police. But you find that sometimes when people, they make a move, maybe they are patrolling on another area, an incident would happen, and that's in the case that was an unfortunate incident in Soweto district, where a PF provincial chairman, Justin Congo, was among the unfortunate people to be victims of violence, and he was attacked by a mob just there, and unfortunately lost his life. The head of state expressed sadness over that incident, and that's President Edgar Lungu. But also the opposition UPND Alliance also expressed their regret over the death of a citizen during the electoral process, and both parties regret, and you know, in this there can be accusation and counter accusation, but at the end of the day, in the case of that murder issue, it's about the police now to determine the suspects and make sure that they bring the culprits to book. So for that, we cannot add or subtract to what the police are doing. I'm sure they are doing their own investigations to ensure that they bring that issue to its logical conclusion. But we've also seen some incidents in various places where people were being suspected of carrying pre-marked ballot papers. But for us, we don't provide unverified information, so we wouldn't confirm that for you. Unless if we confirm, we will have to bring it out. Yes, but another incident happened in Chilanga, where one of the candidates from the UPND was a victim of violence. So a number of issues, precious, took place yesterday. We also had an issue with the persons with disabilities, where
who had issues voting, voting,
because you know, accessibility is something that also has to be prioritized for people with disabilities. So at the end of the day, we have to make sure that these issues are addressed. And
also update on Mao Sampa as well.
Well, Mr. Sampa was attacked by unknown people as well. And the police actually confirmed that information that was being attacked, and this bodyguard was among the wounded. Yeah, so Mr. Mao Sampa is actually the candidate for the Patriotic Front in Matero constituency. So I think so far so good, but I think now that the results will be coming in, we'll get more interacting. Yes, now, yeah, and I think the ECZ, the briefing at 15 hours, will provide more insight on the way forward in as far as this election is concerned.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Patrick Soko, for that update. Waiting to see you back on set, either during or after the elections, and also where you will be giving us a live stream from, whatever station you will be at. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that have just joined us, this is Camnet TV election update, and we will be making sure that we update you as this goes on. We are now waiting to hear from the Electoral Commission of Zambia, who are currently at the Mulungushi International Conference Center. Just in case you have just joined us, we had Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga and Sharon Kalimbola at where the churches, Christian churches monitoring groups were at, just giving us an update on how they're finding the current situation, where we're waiting to hear from the ECZ the final results. At this point, we just take a short break, and we'll be back and making sure that we bring you nothing but the best of the election updates currently. We'll be back after this.
Thank you.
Thank you.